You know what's funny? Humanity once built a library so massive, so legendary, that it basically tried to become the physical version of Google. Yeah, you heard that right. Thousands of years before Wi-Fi, cloud storage, or your messy read later folder, people in ancient Egypt decided, hey, what if we collected all human knowledge in one place? Bold idea. Brilliant. Except they also managed to burn it down multiple times. Because apparently, ancient people and fire safety didn't really mix. So grab your imaginary toga and let us talk about the Library of Alexandria, the world's first great knowledge hub that got absolutely roasted, literally. Picture this. It's around the 3rd century BCE. Alexandria, Egypt, is the place to be the Instagram hotspot of the ancient world. Founded by Alexander the Great, the guy who basically played civilization on God mode, Alexandria wasn't just any city. It had the wealth, the brains, the drama, everything. The ruling dynasty, the Ptolemies, were like, we conquered Egypt, but what if we also conquered knowledge? So they decided to build a library that would store every book, every scroll, every bit of human wisdom. Think of it as the ultimate flex. Instead of buying yachts, they bought Aristotle's homework. King Ptolemy I, or maybe Ptolemy II, ancient records are basically as reliable as Reddit rumors, dreamed of a place that would make Athens look like a second-rate book club. He recruited the best scholars, mathematicians, philosophers, basically every nerd within a 1,000-mile radius. Their mission? Copy every piece of knowledge they could find. Ships entering the port of Alexandria had to hand over any scrolls on board. The scribes would copy them, keep the original, and give back a copy. That's right. The Library of Alexandria was the first large-scale intellectual piracy operation. Forget Napster. These guys were the OG torrenters of wisdom. Inside those walls were hundreds of thousands of scrolls. Philosophy, astronomy, medicine, poetry, mathematics. Everything from Homer to random Egyptian grocery lists. It was like if Wikipedia, NASA, and a conspiracy subreddit had a baby. Scholars like Euclid, yes, the geometry guy who made triangles miserable forever, and Eratosthenes worked there. Eratosthenes even calculated the Earth's circumference with a stick and some shadows. No iPhones, no satellites, just vibes and sunlight. Alexandria was a hotspot for genius, and for egos big enough to need their own postcodes. But then came the part where things started to, well, heat up. Literally. Enter Julius Caesar, Rome's golden boy, political genius, and occasional arsonist. In 48 BCE, Caesar got himself into a bit of a mess in Egypt. He was busy having a not-so-secret situationship with Cleopatra and fighting her brother in the city S-Port. Cornered and outnumbered, Caesar decided to set fire to the enemy ships. Great idea, right? Except, and I'm quoting every firefighter ever, fire tends to spread. And spread it did. The flames leapt from the ships to the docks, then to the warehouses, and eventually to parts of the city itself, including, according to ancient accounts, the Library of Alexandria. So yeah, Julius Caesar, conqueror of Gaul, destroyer of republics, and the guy who accidentally deleted the world's biggest hard drive. But here's the plot twist. The library didn't completely disappear that day. Historians think that only part of the collection burned. Maybe the stuff stored near the port. The main library might have survived, or at least limped along. Because, you know, the universe loves false hope. The scholars kept doing their thing, writing, studying, debating. Alexandria wasn't dead yet. Fast forward a few centuries. The Roman Empire rises, falls, and turns Christian. Somewhere along the line, there's a daughter library, a smaller branch inside the Serapeum, a temple to the god Serapis. It's basically the ancient version of a backup drive. But then, in the late 4th century CE, Emperor Theophilus decided pagan temples were bad PR, so he ordered them destroyed. And with that, the Serapeum, and likely what was left of the Library ES collection, went up in flames again. At this point, you'd think someone would have invented fire extinguishers, or at least water buckets. But nope. And just when you thought the story was over, surprise, another fire. In the 7th century CE, when Muslim forces under Caliph Omar conquered Egypt, a legend, which might be more myth than fact, says that Omar was asked what to do with the remaining books of Alexandria. His supposed response? If the contents of the books agree with the Quran, they are unnecessary. If they disagree, they are heretical. So burn them. Brutal. The scrolls were reportedly used as fuel for the city's bathhouses for 6 months. 6 months. People literally took warm baths powered by Aristotle's lost works. Now, that story might be exaggerated. Historians argue about it all the time. But it's such a perfect mix of tragic and absurd that it feels true. Either way, by that point, Alexandria's library was toast, both metaphorically and physically. What's wild is that nobody really knows how many scrolls were lost, and it's not like they didn't try to rebuild. Later rulers tried to restore the collection, but it was never quite the same. The scholars scattered, moving to other centers of learning like Pergamon and eventually Baghdad. The dream of a universal library, one that held all human wisdom, was gone. Alexandria became more of a myth than a place. But let's be honest, the myth is kind of what keeps it alive. The Library of Alexandria became this symbol of lost genius, of what could have been. Every time someone accidentally deletes a file, somewhere in the universe, a tiny ghost librarian sighs and whispers, "Not again." And here's the irony. We did rebuild the library, in a way. It's called the Internet. Today, humanity has more access to information than ever before. We literally recreated Alexandria, but digital. The problem? We use it mostly for cat videos, conspiracy theories, and people arguing about pineapple on pizza. Imagine Eratosthenes scrolling through TikTok and seeing dance challenges instead of geometry. The man would lose his mind. Still, the Library of Alexandria wasn't just about books. It was about ambition, that crazy, beautiful human urge to understand everything. It showed what we're capable of when we're curious, and how fragile that curiosity can be when it meets politics, religion, and bad luck. Every fire, every lost scroll, is a reminder that knowledge isn't permanent. It has to be protected, shared, passed on, preferably without burning it this time. And if you think about it, we keep repeating the same mistakes. We delete, we censor, we destroy what we don't understand. The fires just look different now. Not torches and oil, but algorithms and misinformation. Back then, people lost scrolls. Today, we lose truth. Same story, different era. So yeah, the Library of Alexandria might be gone, but the dream isn't. It lives in every book, every database, every nerdy corner of the web where people still chase answers. Humanity's greatest tragedy wasn't it that the library burned. It is that we keep lighting matches. And on that cheerful note, if you learned something today, or if you're just now realizing Julius Caesar was basically history's biggest oops moment, hit that like button. Subscribe for more tragic tales with too much sarcasm and questionable life lessons. And tell me in the comments, if you could save one book before the flames, what would it be? Because who knows? Maybe next time we build a universal library, we'll have better luck keeping it from catching fire. Or at least a smoke detector. Thanks for watching.